Hey everybody. Another really hopefully quick update. I've been playing around with the latest update to Silhouette Studio, and the version I'm working on is 4.1.163. Excuse me, I have this Silhouette Designer Edition as well as the Business Edition. But I don't think you need the Business Edition to do all of this. I'm not sure about the Designer Edition. So there's 4.1.163 is the version I'm working on. And one of the things that I've been playing with is we have always been able to put text on a path, but I think up till now we haven't been able to put objects on a path. So what this new software, in addition to all the other wonderful features that I've covered in previous videos, is the new object to path. And that's what I'm going to show you today. I created this item using the object to path. And I also tried a couple of others. Let me show you those here. I played with this one. You know, I made that wreath using various components and putting them on an object to path. And I made this little item using various of the tools. An object to path, of course, is one of them. You can do so much with it, and rather quickly. I did all of these probably in the last hour, so it's not very time consuming, and it's really quite easy. So what I'm going to do now is get out of there. I'm going to open up a new window just so that you can see how it works. And it doesn't work with just the usual shapes. The shapes I've been using are the ones in this basic shape. But really you can use any shape. You can draw even your own. But I'm going to show you how this works. Maybe I'll work on the whatever you call this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess it's the pentagon. Anyway, I'm going to work on this shape. And there are two important things to notice. There are two dots here, and you'll see how they work when I get the item I want to put on there. So I'm going to go to the library, and for purposes of this, I will pick a silhouette design, which many of you might have already. And I wanted to do something sort of Christmassy, so I'm going to hit this sled and sprig and throw that in there. So what I'm going to do now is select it, and then I'm going to ungroup it. Yes, because all I really want for the time being is this, to make a wreath going around the object. So obviously I need to make it smaller. And I usually kind of like to see if I can't line it up just so that it will, the center line here, but this would depend on the design, kind of follows the shape on a plane, a parallel to it. But you don't have to do that. You can do anything you want and then try various things. So I'm going to start with it smaller. And all I have to do is, with this pattern, or this cut file, is go down over to the replicate window. That's this one over to the far right. My mouse is on it now. And the replicate window has several options. One is the old duplicate. I forget what this one is. Oh, let's see. This one is number of copies. But the one I'm going to use today is this one. It's called Object on Path. And what it does, once you click this Show Grab Handle, it grabs a handle. Now, one thing I have not figured out yet, and maybe some of you have already explored this, I wish I could move this grab handle so I could get it to not go in the center of this line, which is what you'll see in a moment. When I grab this handle down here, there it goes. Now, I have put that wreath everywhere. Now, I think they're too close together. So this line here and this line here, this is the one that spreads them farther apart. So that's what I'm going to do, leaving some space. I don't mind a little bit of overlap, but I don't particularly want it to be as jumbled up as it was. So this just kind of moves it along. And now you can see it has followed. But let's pretend this is a birdhouse, because that's kind of what I'm thinking of. So I'm going to make it sit this way. And I'm going to, first I'm going to hit the send button to see what would cut if I didn't do anything else. Well, I obviously wouldn't want this to cut. It would cut out all of this, all of the lines that you see here like this. So I wouldn't want, it would cut even overlap. I would have to like weld the design or do something else to it. But for now, I'm just going to go back to the design, and I'm going to, now that I have all of these highlighted, I'm going to change the color. And what I've decided to do, you can make them green. Yeah, that would be fine. But what I've decided to do is open up my pattern window. It takes a bit of memory. It's working. And hopefully soon, maybe I'll pause this for a minute. Let's see. Yeah, let me pause. Okay, now my patterns are up, and I have a lot of them, really a lot of them. But one I want to use is some sort of green that has a watercolory look to it. I think I've passed it. Yeah, there's one here somewhere. I know it. There it is. I just used it. This one would work. Let's see. Yes. It's a little bit on the light side. I thought I had a darker one, and I think I do. Hold on. Just, yeah, this is a more of a bluey color. No, I don't care for that. Somewhere here I had a darker one. Maybe this one. Yeah, that's okay. Besides which, as you know from previous videos, you can just use this icon here to bring up the image effects, and I can darken that because it's an image. I can darken it, and that's what I might do here. Darken it, apply. Okay, so now I can see this image, and now what I'm going to do is trace it again, because I only want the outside. Well, first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else, whoops, get out of there, is select it again, hit send, and send that whole thing to no cut. I don't want to confuse myself, and I want the whole thing to be no cut. Yeah, there it is, no cut. Okay, now I'm back in the design window. I'm going to hit the open the trace window. I'm going to, yes, slider bar all the way to outside there, and trace outer edge. So that's the only thing I would want to cut. And to double check, send it to the send window, and yes, there is the outer cut. Now what I might want to do is, if I wanted to add a white edge to it, an offset, which is what I'm going to add now. I'm going to select just the outside cut line, and then I'm going to go to the offset button, which is this star here, and hit offset, but I don't want it to be 125. That's a little bit too far for me. I'd like a smaller one, so I'll go 0.75 and hit enter, apply. Yeah, that's a decent amount. What I'm going to do at this point is take this, the one I just did. Let's see if I can select it. If I can, and then delete it. Yeah, I did. So I deleted my previous cut line. I only have now the outline that's offset, which is all I really want. And this would be white. So there you go. I have easily filled this shape up. I could have done a better job by, well, well, I don't really mind it, or making them a little bit smaller. If I'd made them a little bit smaller, they would have added a couple more. But you can see how easy it is. What is really fun is to select the inside box and go to my pattern and pick some pattern paper. I have lots of it. Well, we wouldn't want to do, this one is really cool. I got this from Hungry JPEG. We wouldn't want to put pumpkins inside of the greenery, although it does look pretty, doesn't it? It kind of, I guess you can put greenery around anything. But you can see how pretty this is. Look, let me play with some of these patterns so you can just see how they look. It's just so much fun. And I do this quite a lot. And of course, if you had something, you're making something, you can make this into a sticker or cut, print and cut. I do not have my registration marks in here, but you all know how to do that. While I'm here, I'm going to show you this little zipper. Remember I said, oh, I'm not too happy with what just happened. And I'm not sure why either, but it's taken my image and made it into a circle. I'm not sure why either. And that could have some other uses, but I'm going to slide it back up. Whoops, now I've got a diamond. So there's some interesting things would happen here. So I'm going to just leave that alone. So there you go. It's easy to play with, but I like to put the patterns in the middle. Let me see. I don't know if that's because of what I selected. It's the actual original shape and it changes on you. But I think I found a cute little pattern that can go in the middle. Let's see. Yeah, well, that's awful. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So it doesn't have to be for Christmas. And so you can play around and just have a grand old time. And of course, you know from previous videos, you can always change the pattern. So I've got this pattern. You go back to this shader effects window and use the color, the hue, and change that to any color you want. So it's really nice. You can add and make it darker, deeper. Whoops. Oh yeah, it's taking the original pattern and making it darker because I didn't apply the other one. If I had changed the hue to say pink and apply, then I could go to the gamma and darken that and make it anything I want. So you can see all the fun that you can have with this new tool. I'll show you the others that I did. I did this one. And I used this flower that I also got from my library, a cut file, and then built a square, and then put the flower all the way around sort of automatically, just like I showed you before, by taking this pattern, making it small enough, going to the replicate window, going to the third icon to the right, and adding the show the grab handle. And see, it just added a whole mess of them, which I certainly wouldn't want. But if this were, and I could bring the circle down here and make that larger and add the handle. Whoops, there we go. Grab handle and slide it. Now, like I said before, you cannot put it outside of the window like you can with the text or could with the text. Of course, that's way too much overlap, so you just slide this around until you get what you want. And you could have spaces in between. And if I took this and moved it out of the way and took this and moved it on the mat, whoops, I could go to send and you'd see that's not what I'd want to cut out. So I would just put no cut. Go back to design and Again, it helps if I fill this all in. Let me see, I'll fill it all in with black because that's the easiest, or gray, whatever. And then hit the trace button, select trace, get the slider going all the way. Takes a few minutes, there it is, and then just trace the outer edge. And then if I sent that to, that's what would print. So I can go back to design. I mean, I'm sorry, that's what would cut the outer edge. And what I'm going to do now is select everything, go to the pattern window again, and there are my patterns. And now, in order to get the smaller pattern in here and the larger pattern in here, I have to, oh, I know why. I know why. Because this, I have to put this in the back. This is the thing I just did, and I need to send it to the back. There you go. You see what I did? Since the last action I did was to cut the outline of the whole thing, it placed it on top. So now I have this image and this one. And if I were to offset this, I would convert it to white if I wanted that offset and I wanted the white edge. Actually, I don't really need, I don't need this to be, what I will do it, I'll do that now, in fact. Now I'll change that to, let's see, let me change it to, well, nothing, that's good. And bring this back here. And this sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, but the align tool, it didn't work this time. Sometimes I get it to work and sometimes I don't. And I can't quite explain why that happens. It's a rather easy job though to line it up. But what I wanted to do was not use this one anyway, but go to the offset tool, do the offset again like I did before, and put 0.75. Yeah, apply. And then I'll take the inside one and throw it away, and then just put this one in here would give me an offset if I really wanted that. But the fun thing is to play with this design, and let me just check my send again, and of course it's still now just going to cut the outer edge. This would be a print and cut. I'd have to put the registration marks on and make it whatever size I want. But the real fun for me is playing with the patterns. Let's see what I get with these wonderful. I've got so many wonderful, great patterns like that. Whoops. And then if I hit this, yeah, and then hit that. See, it makes a smaller pattern in the back. It works really nice with the anchors, but you know, when you hit both of these, and what it's doing is hitting the circle in the back, and then each of these small designs around the circle, and then what it does is it makes the pattern proportional. So the pattern is larger here than it is around. So you can see how quickly just get a shape, move these objects around. Remember to check your cut settings so that you don't cut anything you don't want to cut. Play with the patterns and play with the colors. So you got a red one there. I can just make that green any color I want. I have to remember to hit the apply button, and I can make it darker or lighter and use the whole range of options there. So hopefully you will find this version of 4.1.163, and I think some of this feature may have been on a few editions earlier in the 4 series, but I haven't had a chance to play with it. Just wanted to show you how easy and fun it is. Now, something strange happens. I'm going to try it here just so I can replicate it, and I don't know why, but I have trouble grouping this. Look at that. I don't know why that happens. So you have to select what you want. I'm going to hit Control Z to go back where I was. Yeah. And I don't know why that happens. And if I figure it out, maybe I'll do another short little video. But so you can't quite group all of this, but you can select it all and move the size anywhere you want and the placement anywhere you want. But for some reason, when you group this, it could be, let me try this, and this may not work. Object, make compound path. No, that didn't work either. Look what it did. It's even worse. So I'm going to hit Control Z, go back where I was, and leave it alone. I would just have to figure out why that is going on. So it wasn't making it. Let's see if let me try that group up here. Should do this. Yeah, see, it did the same thing. Control Z gets me back to where I want to be, and this red circle does not cut. So again, if I wanted to check it, I double check all the time, send it to send. You can see what will cut, and play to your heart's content and have fun. Someone on one of the lists this week was having trouble getting an object like a flower to go on a path, and she obviously didn't have the 4.1 version because it's this easy. And of course, back when we didn't have this option, we could always use dingbats that were in a type format and make that go on a path. But now you don't have to do that. You can take any image you want, literally any image you want. And I have images and anything in your library, not just those you bought, but literally anything, and make it go on a path, which is pretty darn wonderful. So that's it for now, and I am hoping that you got something out of this. And if I figure out why we can't group it, I'll do another quick little video, but that's it for now.